My name's David Yuzuk. I'm a retired Miami police officer. For those who don't know my story, I ask you please, before you make judgments saying that there's no way this thing can be true, that it's BS, either fast forward to the end of this video or just wait to the end and I'll show proof that this story is true. For those who don't know, I was a police officer in the city of Aventura. I was friends with a tiny homeless man named Richard Flaherty. He was only 4'9", 97 pounds. Did everything I could as a police officer, try to get him off the streets, get him into a program. He didn't meet a criteria where I felt he was a danger to himself or others, and that's the only time I could intercede and force them to get a medical evaluation, a mental evaluation, or put him into a hospital, as if they're so far gone that they're a danger to themselves or to others. My friend never met that criteria, so all I could do is offer services. He was clean, he seemed rational. So after 15 years of friendship, in the summer of 2015, we were sitting in a Subway sandwich shop, and he said, Dave, he turned to me and he said, Dave, it's time I tell you who I really am. At that point, I never really questioned him too much about who he was or his past, because he never offered it. And I think that's why we were friends, is because I didn't peer into it. But we would talk about the world and politics and a little bit about life and philosophy, and he was really intelligent. He really understood geopolitics, a lot more than a guy who just read the newspapers every day. So never judge a book by its cover. So what did he say to me? He said, Dave, I was the smallest Special Forces soldier to ever serve in the U.S. military. I was a Green Beret captain, served in Vietnam. I earned the Silver Star, 2 Bronze Stars, and 2 Purple Hearts. After the war, I worked for many different government agencies and undercover capacities. I worked all over the world, and he wanted me to get his story out to the world. Not what he did or accomplished, but why he became homeless. And it's not really what you think, why he became homeless. It's really more of a cautionary tale about, one, obviously the Vietnam War was unique, where our soldiers came home to a country divided, and these guys lost their friends, sacrificed their limbs, came home to a country that hated them. The politicians sent them to war, but the public blamed it on the soldiers, which is wrong. The military men and even the military women, we learned, the nurses were treated poorly on their return. So you have that factor, but you also have the factor of PTSD, which he had, survivor's guilt, because at first he was a lieutenant with the 101st Airborne. One of his first missions when he got over to Vietnam was the Tet Offensive.